Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here representing Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and today I'm going to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about the stuff I see in reels and in social media all day long with really enhanced jacked bodybuilders. But a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, be greatly appreciated. If you're not subscribed or following, please do so, and if you'll be kind enough to drop me a comment down below, I would appreciate it so much, so thank you. All right, let's get over to this topic because again, this is something that I personally find frustrating as someone who puts out information for basically two groups of people. The biggest chunk of my audience, including my clients, are going to be completely natural guys, drug-free. And then I tend to work with some very mildly enhanced people. But again, I don't work with people who use large amounts of anabolics personally. In fact, I usually advocate against that even when they want to do it. So we need to be clear on that. So I don't coach people who are abusing gear is a general rule. So when we get over to this topic, we see the guys who are using huge amounts of drugs, and the stuff that I see in the reels, it's just ridiculous. And here's something I would say to people. A good tip to follow: if you see a really jacked bodybuilder, really gifted, really heavily enhanced bodybuilder saying, hey, this is one of the things I do right here to get really jacked, or to get jacked quads, or my upper chest, step back and ask yourself the question: if they were not on huge amounts of drugs, would they still be big using this method? In other words, if the person did all the stuff that they're displaying here, or they're showing you, if this was their trick, without all the drugs, would they still look really good? Would they be better than average in terms of gym goers? Okay. In other words, is this upper chest trick, would they have a deep striated, thick, full upper chest on no drugs if this method they were using is how they did it? And examples I can think of I've seen recently, one of them that really came to mind, I saw one guy, and again, we're talking near Olympia level size, right? Like open bodybuilding size. He's clearly on insane amounts of drugs. And I believe he is a pro bodybuilder, actually, IFBB guy. And he keeps showing all his upper chest stuff, but it's all just some cables, And it's like, this is really the key to this upper chest. And he's massive top to bottom, and it's kind of like, you look at it and go, I don't think this is what built your upper chest, But he'll be doing stuff where he's laying on an incline bench and doing like a cable row, grabbing one of the little cable rows, right? The little like whatever V-type handle, whatever those little parallel bar handles people do, like for the cable, like it's got two little handles, and he's doing almost like a closed grip overhead press, laying on an incline bench with a cable from it, as if we're supposed to believe that that's what built the upper chest. The same guy later, he's doing some cables, and he's doing a special thing where he's doing like a front raise on an incline bench with cables, one in each hand, and he's doing like this front raise. And it's like, you look at this and go, you really expect us to believe this? I think particularly, when we talk about the fact of which areas of the human body respond most to anabolics specifically, not all other drugs, because they use tons of PEDs, insulin growth, IGF-1, but anabolics specifically, right? It's going to be the upper chest, the delts, and the traps. Those areas always blow up huge when guys blast stuff. You can tell who uses heavy amounts immediately because those areas are growing faster. Okay. It's like, you look at that and go, you expect us to really believe that's what did it. And plus, you look at these guys and go, they're massive top to bottom. And a take home we saw recently, I saw a guy who hadn't trained his legs in over a year, had enormous pro bodybuilder sized thighs. It's like, I haven't trained my legs at all in over a year. And I saw him in a reel with next to Larry Wheels, and Larry Wheels pointing at it. It's like, how much drugs are you using to where you don't train your legs? You haven't touched your legs at all in over a year, and they're Mr. Olympia size legs. It's like, come on, dude. Seriously. So they'll promote this stuff, and you look at that and go, if that's really what you did for your whole upper chest, instead of just maybe some incline benching, or a nice wide grip, like a good bench press, like, you really think that area would have built it without all the drugs? just this one little cable movement. It's like, do you expect us to believe this, that you'd be big and jacked? I think I've seen another guy like that, big, huge bodybuilder. It's like, oh, this is what I do. I love doing these hack squats. But he's like, I do 5 sets of leg extensions to pre-exhaust before I do hack squats. Okay. Again, everyone understand that pre-exhaustion, when it's been studied in drug-free lifters, causes less muscle growth? Like, we all know this, right? Is everyone aware of this? And on top of that, does it even make sense? Does it even make sense? Aren't we doing big compound movements? We're doing our compound movements to build muscle through the whole body. Okay? Not just to build that one body part. You're not doing hack squats just to build your quads. Right? Why would you do that? So think about that for a minute. It's like, you don't do chin-ups or pull-ups just to build your biceps, right? You're doing it to build your lats and other stuff. Right? We're doing hack squats to build glutes, to build adductors, right? It even builds calves. But if you're forced to reduce the load because you exhausted the muscle with an isolation first, you're going to move less load. And it's like, well, but the quads are still getting hit. Yeah, maybe to some extent, but are they? Is it going to be high-quality work, though? I mean, you may have fatigued most of the upper threshold fibers. You may not even be getting them in the quads fully. If you did 5 sets of leg extensions, like really hard leg extensions, your quads may not even be fully activating on that. And they're now going to be the limit. You're going to be forced to use less weight total. And then everything gets less stimulus. It doesn't make any sense. But you'll see the guys doing this, and then you look at this and go, if you did this, would you be big without drugs? Right? The answer is no, they wouldn't be as big. Like, the same person with the same genetics trained smarter and did just proper training instead of this stuff side by side, they would be bigger than them. But they promote these methods as if they're going to work. In the reality, a lot of these methods don't do anything. They're just stimulus that is oftentimes subpar, ineffective stimulus. And a dude could have really, if they were all drug-free, a dude could have just done a bunch of pull-ups and bench presses and dips and so on, and built the same muscle, the same thing, on the legs. Guy could have done some squats and leg presses and had just as big, if not bigger, legs than the guy promoting, well, my method is I do this. I pre-exhaust, I do 5 sets of leg extensions and then the hack squat. Yeah, someone could build just as big a quads just doing back squats. Just come in and do back squats. They would get just as much quad as you, and maybe some leg press afterwards. And that's the point we're making. They're promoting nonsense that wouldn't work if they weren't on tons of drugs.